welcome to Zenterno Radio, where we drop truth gems all along the way. This is episode 44, and the title of today's episode is Sorcery, Drugs, and Pharmakeia. Sorcery, Drugs, and Pharmakeia, episode 44, and we're on the way. So, in today's episode, I have a few stories that will be very edifying. This will be a very cool episode, very teachable, and so I just truly hope whoever hears it will be truly favored, blessed, shined upon the light from heaven, that they are increasing in knowledge, and take it sincerely, and don't take it for a joke, and not apply some of the knowledge that you're about to hear. Just like anything, if it's true knowledge from the heavens, please apply it to your life, and you're going to see all things go well for yourself and your family. So we're going to go all the way back to the Garden of Eden, and that's where everything starts. So let's jump to Genesis chapter 3, and we'll start at verses, 14. So Genesis 3 and 14. And Yahweh Elohim said to the serpent, because you have done this, you are cursed more than all livestock, and more than any beast of the field. On your abdomen you are to go, and eat dust all the days of your life. And I put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. He shall crush your head, and you shall crush his heel. Okay, so the main point of this is learning that Satan himself is the father of actually all snakes. So when we look at any type of snake, venomous, whatever, large, small, any type of actual snake, look at it's an animal, it is actually a child of the devil. How so? Well, here in Genesis, it clearly says the Most High is the one who commanded the serpent. Because if you go into the Apocalypse of Abraham, the description of the devil was a reptilian being, and he stood like a man. So he stood up on two legs, he had two arms, he had a head, and his face was very reptilian. So like we all know about the reptilians, that type of image, imagine that as a being. Satan was that in the beginning. And it speaks about he had 6 wings on the right and 6 wings on the left. So he had 12 wings in total. So that's actually his true form and how he used to look, or at least at that point in time in the Garden of Eden. But when the Most High had cursed him, because we all know from the fruit, which he was supposed to not eat, etc., the Most High has then totally took all his wings, his arms, his legs, everything off, and let him become what we know today as the serpents and snakes. So when we actually spiritually look at this, and this is a spiritual podcast, therefore it's going to be a spiritual exhortation or explanation on this topic. I want people to have the spiritual eyes, not an evolutionary eyes. We're not talking about anything like that. So spiritually, understand that that's what snakes are. Snakes and serpents are the children of the devil, okay? And it makes a lot of sense, because then why is it the fact that all these snakes have this thing called venom? And this toxin is able to kill any type of creature, including a human being, a so-called human being. So what I came to understand is that that's truly what it is. And this is why we really need to be sober. And this is the critical word of today's podcast is about being sober. So I want to jump forward now, fast forward thousands of years, and to where our timeline is right now. And I have a great story for everybody today. So again, as I said, let's fast forward to this present moment, maybe 6,000 to 7,000 years in the future after the Garden of Eden. And here we are. I'm a person living in a town, a city, in any country right now. And there's a weed store, a marijuana store, a ganja, right? Hemp, cannabis. It all has all these funny names, right? So we have those stores popping up, especially in the West. And they've legalized that recently, fairly recently. It's just been a few years, actually, that's legalized. And you'd have to ask a question of why that is. Because the way I'm looking at it, I see nothing but the concept of the slippery slope. Meaning that anything that's sloping in any downward trajectory, gravity is taking things downward off of a angle going downward. And that's the way I see it. Just things getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Why do they want people high? Why do they want people not being able to have the proper constitution of being able to think and make choices and have proper judgment calls on life? they want people to be so hooked up on these substances that they can't think for themselves. Then they want to plug you into VR and get you in a false reality so you don't even know what's happening. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because there's the next push after this, because already, like I said, the weed and marijuana stores, they're legal. So what's next? The next thing that they're pushing right now, and I just heard it on CBC radio, and I have been coming across it on my phone, is ads about a shroom store. Oh, shrooms. Okay, so they're talking about the mushroom, and they're talking about, the fungi, and the one that's the magic mushroom. Oh yeah, and it's psychedelic and it's trippy, right? And it makes you, now you don't even know who you are, and you don't even know what you're looking at, and you're seeing all this crazy shit in your brain because you activated certain chemicals that probably shouldn't even be there in the first place, but you were a stupid soul who fell victim to the grip and the temptation of the serpent. This is the whole point of this message, because the whole concept of anything of drugs, it's called Pharmakeia. That's where they get the term pharmaceutical. Pharmakeia is actually sorcery. Sorcery has to do with concocting chemicals. So we call it today in chemicals, but back in the day, it's just mixing of substances that had effects, and it would change people's constitution. It would change the way that they think. It would change the way that they would view the world. It would make them hallucinate. It would make them do things otherwise a man or a woman would never have done, unless they were under this influence of that substance. This is 100% truth. That is Pharmakeia. This is what the witches, warlocks, wizards have all been doing, and all those beings and entities are the ones who are the children of the devil. No Kodeshim, no righteous man does such things. No, because again, even what I just am saying, what man does these things? You only do it if you're trying to get manipulation, control, and you're trying to bring about death. It's all about controlling. So again, here's the slippery slope. We have the marijuana stores, they're legal. Now they're going to push, and they're going to start talking about the shroom. So they're going to eventually try to push this to be legal. Oddly enough, I can't believe that I've heard that, but this is what CBC was saying, that there's supposedly some shops already, even though it's illegal. Like, it's literally illegal, but there's still some shops there. And maybe some of the weed stores have the psilocybin in their compartments there too, right? It's all an agenda. Like I said, so now if you do the weed, you do the mushroom, you get into the VR when Yuval Noah Harari says, oh, the useless eaters and the useless people, they're going to just play video games and be on drugs. When you start connecting all these things together, then it starts to really make sense. You say, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. You got to be a fool to fall for this shit. And I have to speak like this. And I'm going to say this right now. I never talked about this ever on my podcast, on my channels, on anything. Reason being is because I already knew from get-go, from jump, from a long time, from my inception of life, that drugs was always some bullshit. It was always a psyop. It was a way to control people. It was the thing that was there to afflict the idiot, the one who didn't understand himself, and the one who was lost, and the one who, I guess, might be depressed or whatever the hell they find themselves into. See, knowledge of self is powerful, and this is why we have to know ourselves. We have to know who we are. You are not this flesh, blood, bone, and poop, as I always say, because that's what they want you to believe. You're just this meat, cyberpunk, meat suit, and all that shit. No, you are actually a spirit. This is only for the called out ones, by the way. This is not for everybody. The real Kodeshim, you are light beings. You have the spark of the heavenly divine. You have the spark of the heavenly light. And that, my friends, is the very small number that when the Most High says, I will refine man, that is very hard to find man, like gold is refined in fire, and it's going to be very difficult to find man. He's not talking about physical man. He's talking about it's going to be very difficult to find a person who's a Kodeshim, who really understands the spirit, who really understands the ways of the Father, who really understands the ways and the mysteries of heaven. Those people are going to be very few and far between. So when you're tuning into Zenz on the radio, guess what? You found one, a light spark from heaven coming to speak to you, and you're hearing me right now. So when I'm speaking what I'm speaking, I'm saying it not for myself, but for the edification, the edification of the other people, the other souls, to save you guys from what's about to come. Because what they want to do is, it's nothing but a sociop and a psyop. So society operation and a psychological operation. That's what's happening right now. So when it comes to stuff like this, it's really buffoonery. It really is. Don't partake in no drugs. Don't partake in any of this. It's not going to end well for anybody, okay? It means absolute nothing. It's only a distraction, and it's how it's one of Satan's tactics on how to capture souls. This is what he loves to do. He is the destroyer. He is the death bringer. He is the master and author of confusion. He is the liar, and he is the first executionist, the first slaughter. Okay? He is nothing but evil. And that's what he brings to mankind. And mankind needs to be strong enough to start to wake up and tap into what you really are and fight back against what's coming. Because if it don't affect you, it's going to affect your children. And if it doesn't affect your children, it's going to affect your brothers and sisters and the community around you. It's going to affect your job. Something's going to affect, and eventually it's going to knock on your door. And then you're going to say, well, what the hell is this? Well, you should have made a change in your life. You should have understood what was happening and stood up to some real truth. This is why Zenz on the radio exists. We need to speak the truth. Now, oddly enough, I want to add this story that I recently had happen to me. I met this young lady who's around my age, and she's just had recently turned like 31. And I had a few conversations with this person, and she has a half black daughter. She's a Vietnamese young lady. Okay, she's a half black daughter. She, first of all, when I had met her, I'm like, man, she's smoking cigarettes. That's not healthy, right? So she's doing that. Then she had one point had told me she did the mushrooms just recently, and that made, to me, when I first, I'm like, the first time when I hear that, I'm like, wait, you got a child, and it's not even it doesn't matter, baby, child, it doesn't matter. You got a child at home. You are the parent. You are the guardian of this child. But you're doing mushrooms. You're doing tobacco. You're doing these substance abuse. What the hell do you think your daughter is going to be when she grows up, if she even gets there? You know, these are when I look at stuff like I'm like, I just see nothing but a fool in front of me. I was like, wow, dog, really, this shit's crazy. And people think that this is okay, that's normal. That's not normal, bro. You can't be doing drugs and you think you're gonna raise a child, man. And that's why child custody exists and services. See, people be making fun of all that stuff, but it's like, bro, you got some crazy people out here who don't even know how to take care of their children. And they be doing drugs in front of their children. And then all of a sudden now child services come and pick up your baby and woohoo, boohoo is you. Now you start crying? Get the hell out of here, bro. Get the hell out of here. Only righteous people understand what I'm saying. That's nonsense. That's nonsense, bro. You need to be able to be a person of a guardian. You need to become, once you have a child, you become an angel to them. That's what angels are too. The guardians, right? So you're an angel to your child when you have one. Once you have one, you become the angel it needs. You got to protect that. You have got to protect that. Son, daughter, etc. Doesn't matter. If you're gonna be out here doing substance abuse and partying and going here and going there, bro, you lost the battle already. You've actually already done exactly what the devil wants you to do. You fallen right into the trap. And I have to add, because once I came across that person and I had that experience, and she doing that type of stuff. There's a song by Gangstar Guru from New York, and one of his lines says, a lot of ladies out there be looking lovely, but they don't got no control of their life. Inside they're ugly. And that's exactly what I saw when I saw that female. It's the same thing, because you can't be out here on substances and then raising a child, man. You can't be doing that, bro. That's a no-go, man. But at the same time, somehow it's like, well, I'm saying that's what the truth is, but I'm not gonna be your babysitter either, and I'm not gonna change that. I don't, whatever. To hell with you type of people, you know? That's crazy to me. That's just crazy to me. People have got to do better, man. You've got to do better. I just think that's absolutely nonsense. Okay? And like I said, I've written here too. I mean, all of this, it's a psyop. It's to control, to dumb down, to keep the people unaware of the negative control takeover agenda, which is coming. And the anti-Messiah is going to rise and declare whatever about the world, and everybody's going to have to oblige by it, the rich to the poor, and everybody's going to take that mark in order to live your life. It's coming. Praise be to the King, because the King is the Most High, who's given us all the knowledge so that we can go through, no matter what time we've incarnated and come down here, we're able to conquer the timeline and understand who we are and connect back to Him. He is the giver of life. Life is the greatest. Life is the greatest. If you actually understand life, life is the greatest, and there's nothing worth destroying that. It's worth sacrifice. It's worth everything. And so when we don't stand up for our children, don't stand up for ourselves, you've done exactly what the devil wants you to do, and that's fall to shit and turn to shit and be destroyed. Then the devil sits back and starts laughing every time somebody dies, because of his plans, because of his concoctions, because of his inventions and devices. Speaking of which, I wrote to my AI and I want to understand how many of these creatures, and let's go through a list here. So speaking about all of these things that are harmful down here, I've always said this too. I'm like, I could not believe in a creator who created just like nothing but, he takes pleasure in death and he creates things that cause death. And no, we've been lied to. The creator didn't create these things. The devil's the one. This is why it makes a whole lot of sense. This is why Satan exists. Satan exists because evil things take place. Satan exists also because a lot of these things, that animals, plants exist that are deadly. So I want to list a few of them here, and we're going to go through it right now. So let's go. So first thing is poisonous toxic creatures. Now on land, we have the inland taipan. Most venomous snake in the world is what they're saying here. Number 2 is the dart frog. I've heard of that. Poison dart frog, known for their brightly colored skin, which contains potent toxins. Number 3, brown recluse spider. Its venom can cause severe necrosis. So I looked up necrosis. It means destruction of an organ. It was just complete organ failure, right? The Gila monster, of the venomous lizard found in southwestern United States. Africanized honeybee, known for their aggressive behavior and painful stings. Blue poison arrow frogs, also sound like rainforest, found in South America. Their skin secretes a potent toxin. King cobra, longest venomous snake, capable of delivering a fatal bite. Now we go to the oceans. Box jellyfish, one of the most venomous marine animals found in the waters of Australia, Southeast Asia. Blue ringed octopus, small but deadly. Its venom can cause paralysis and death. Stonefish, known for its camouflage and extremely painful venom. Pufferfish contains tetrodotoxin, which is highly toxic. Cone snail, its venom can be fatal to humans. Lionfish, I remember that one. Venomous spines can cause extreme pain and systematic effects. And the sea snake, highly venomous, found in tropical ocean waters. Poisonous plants. Everybody knows poison ivy causes severe skin irritation. Foxglove contains digitalis, which can affect heart function. Mistletoe, the berries are toxic if ingested. Poison oak, similar to poison ivy, causes skin irritation. Poison sumac causes severe skin reactions. Giant hogweed can cause severe skin burns and blindness. Oleander, all parts are toxic and can affect the heart. Castor bean contains ricin, a potent toxin. Deadly nightshade, belladonna, contains atropine and scopolamine, which are highly toxic. Now, the piece de resistance, the poisonous fungi, the mushrooms. These ones have the craziest names, so I don't know why people are dabbling in mushrooms, bro. Take this in. The number 1, death cap. Okay, it's got the name death in it. You already know you're going to touch it, you're dead. It's as simple as that. Amanita phalloides, one of the most toxic mushrooms. Number 2, the destroying angel. Amanita species, highly toxic, often fatal. Number 3, Conocybe filaris, contains deadly toxins. Number 4, webcaps. Cortinarius species, contains oralinine, which can cause kidney failure. Autumn skullcap, Galerina marginata, contains amatoxins similar to the death cap. Number 6, deadly dappling, Lepiota bruneo incarnata, contains amatoxins. Number 7, fly agaric, Amanita muscaria, contains muscimol and ibotenic acid, which are toxic. And Podostroma cornudae contains trichothecene mycotoxins, which are highly toxic. So that's a good list. And the reason, again, so I'm bringing that because it's like more education. We need to know these things that have been created out here on the earth. They do come from the serpent. They do come from the dark side. They were concocted. They were bred. Just like everything, you can breed things and you can create certain things. Have no doubt that Satan is the one who created all of these things. He created it because Satan is the master of death. And he's such a master with it. This is why in the scripture it says he masquerades as an angel of light. Well, why? Why would he do that? Because he knows that if he comes to you straight up as Satan, if he comes to you straight up as the demonic entity, you're going to run the other way 1,000,000 miles an hour, right? So he comes to you with the great offer, right? I got the good promotion. I got the good job. I got the good money. I got the this. I got the that. The woman and the man. He comes with the most beautiful guy, the most beautiful woman that you ever seen in your life. That is how Satan operates. Just to loop you in to his what? Death trap. That's how it works. That's exactly what Satan does. That's how he operates. He doesn't operate with life. There's nothing about life, right? He even told the Messiah, "Oh, throw yourself off the wall, the ledge, the castle, where he was staying, the cliff or something," because he's the master of death. He's not the master of life, and so we must be able to withstand the devil, as the Most High says, resist the devil, and he shall flee from thee. So we need to stand in our power. We need to stand in our light. We also need to be able to fight the system that comes at us, right? And they're going to start promoting certain things. So when I hear things, especially on the mainstream media, it's coming more into the mainstream and the general consciousness. And not only that, it's what the governments want to start pushing. So when you got CBC and they're going to start talking about the shrooms, and they're going to give you a certain warning. But what's happening is eventually they're going to legalize it. So as I said, what you're going to have is you're going to have all of this slippery slope of stuff happening. It's what they want. They want people so gone in the head that they can't make any proper judgment calls. That's exactly what Satan wants. He wants you so dumb, so distracted, so not knowing who you are, where you are, what you're doing, what you are, that you're just in a complete black hole of death. And then he just takes you out, okay? That can only happen if you give the devil access, by the way, okay? The devil has no right to touch those who deny him. If you deny the devil, he cannot touch you. Just know that. So you need to know which side you're on. So I hope this has been a blessing. I hope this has been a edifying lesson, because for me, it truly is. And it's a warning to the youth and the young ones coming up and all the stuff, the chaos that they got going on. Just do not fall into more chaos, because all it's going to do is just throw you right off the rails and off the track and off your soul path. You have a soul path, and you need to be knowing who and what your soul path is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it with a few scriptures here, and then we're going to call it a wrap. This is Ephesians 4:27-30. Neither give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, by that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Ruach HaKodesh of Elohim, whereby you are sealed unto the day of redemption. 1 Peter chapter 1 and verses 10. This salvation, which was the subject of the search and investigation of the prophets, who spoke of the grace you were to receive, searching out the time and circumstances for which the Spirit, the Ruach of Messiah, bearing witness in them, was revealing the sufferings of Messiah and the glories to follow them. It was revealed to them that it was for your sake and not their own, that they were acting as servants, delivering the message which has now been announced to you by those who preach to you the gospel through the Ruach HaKodesh sent from heaven, Even the angels long to catch a glimpse of these things. Your consciousness then must be sober and ready for action. Put all your hope in the grace brought to you by the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay? Do not allow yourselves to be shaped by the passions of your old ignorance, but as obedient children, be yourselves Kodesh in all your activity after the model of the Kodesh One, who calls us, since scripture says, be Kodesh, for I am Kodesh, set apart, which means Kodesh means set apart. Okay? Be set apart. Don't follow the world. Be set apart. Be Kodesh. And if you address as Father him who judges without favoritism according to each individual's deeds, live out the time of your exile here in reverent awe, for you know that the price of your ransom from the futile way of life handed down from your ancestors was paid, not in anything perishable like silver or gold, but in precious blood as of the blameless and spotless Lamb, Messiah. He was marked out before the world was made and was revealed at your final point of time for your sake. Through him, you now have faith in Elohim, who raised him from the dead and gave him glory for this very purpose, that your faith and hope should be in the Most High. Lastly, 1 Peter 5, and we're going to start at 5.5. Elohim resists the proud, but gives favor to the humble. Humble yourselves then under the mighty hand of Elohim, so that he exalts you in due time, casting all your worry upon him, for he is concerned about you. Be sober, watch, because your adversary, the devil, Satan, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Resist him, firm in the belief, knowing that the same hardships are experienced by your brethren and brotherhood in the world, and the Elohim of all favor, who called you to his everlasting esteem by Messiah Yahushua, after you have suffered a while, himself perfect, establish, strengthen, and settle you. To him be the esteem and the might forever and ever. Salam and shalom. This has been Zenterno Music. I really hope this was an edifying episode. Truly, the key word today, be sober, stay vigilant, stay reading in the word, get your prayers up, start praying, meditate, watch for the times, see what's happening around your community, understand that even from the Garden of Eden unto the time that we are in right now, the devil is out here, and he's going to try to manipulate things and sway things and and he's so polite in his community and all that, but he really has a very, very sinister plan in mind, okay, and in perspective. So your spirit has to be right, and we have to be on the right path. And so without further ado, salam and shalom, praise be to the Most High. Thank you for tuning in. This is Zenterno Radio, episode 44. If you want to support us, please go to zenternomusic.com, as well as our YouTube channel, Zenterno Music. We're finally doing some great things over there. Please subscribe, and we'll catch you guys for another episode sometime in the future. Zenterno Radio, peace and shalom to the family worldwide.